I've waited a long time for this.
You will not take down my videos! I am protected by fair use.
Then it's a good thing I brought a challenger.
Auf der Heide blüht ein kleines Blümelein. Und das heißt... Another one?
I remember as a kid, Disney's Tarzan was one of the first movies I'd ever seen in the theater. I was about 4 or 5 at the time, but I didn't care. I loved it. The animation was spectacular, the characters were great, the Phil Collins songs were awesome to me, even though it probably would have been better if the characters themselves sang the songs instead of him, looking back on it. And the Clayton twist really got me as a kid, even though it's actually super predictable, and I probably would have seen it coming a mile away nowadays. I will say this though, on a side note, fuck that chameleon Heartless from Kingdom Hearts 1. That shit sucked as a kid. But outside of the Disney franchise, like the TV show, I didn't have much love for Tarzan overall. I've never read any of the books or seen that many of the various adaptations that exist throughout time. Outside of the Disney one, I've only seen that 2016 Tarzan movie, which had some of the worst editing I've ever seen in a movie. I saw that weird direct-to-video Tarzan movie that Shade Nocturne reviewed a few years back. Yeah, I watch movies my friends review, what about it? And most recently, I watched the animated 2013 German one. And I think I owe the 2016 one an apology because... I fucking hated this movie! This isn't just your ordinary Lightyear bad where it's boring and unnecessary. This isn't even on Marmaduke levels of bad where clearly no one gave a shit and forced their weird fart fetish on kids.
That was really bad.
This is on a whole other level of bad. It's incoherent, stupid, ugly as fuck, annoying, and for some weird reason, Germany loves this movie. Seriously, when I uploaded my Let's Watch of this movie, Germany made me work for it. Even when it passed the initial block, it still remained partially blocked up until the claim expired on its own. Sorry, Poland, your neighbor Germany doesn't want you having nice things. I'd watch that border if I were you. We all remember what happened last time. So before we begin, I just want to let you guys know ahead of time, in order to get around copyright for this review, I've kind of had to mess with the film a lot more than I usually do. Funny green screens, weird filters, fast cuts, things like that. Like I said earlier, don't blame me, blame Germany. Blame Germany! They want the world to forget all about the Nazi stuff, but this? Oh, no. It is an artistic masterpiece, and it must be protected at all cost! Germany, you gave us Rammstein and Führerschwanz! You've already made up for it. Stop trying so hard. So Tarzan is a book series that has been around since 1912, and it continuously had books be published officially as late as 1966. Making a total of 24 different books. Now, I'm not exactly a book guy myself, but I think this Tarzan movie where a meteor crashes into Earth and is apparently a god, I think, doesn't really follow the books that well. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it is in the books. I mean, there are 24 of them. Doesn't stop this movie from being really fucking stupid, though. Speaking of which, that's how the movie starts, by the way, with the dinosaurs dying out. Huh. And suddenly my Apple TV subscription is worthless. Why watch Prehistoric Planet when I got buffering Nintendo 64 graphics here? So we cut to the modern day in a Tarzan movie where we see that Michael Jackson got his surgery way earlier in life than he initially let on. But all jokes aside, what in the fucking Jiminy Cricket's ass is that? What are these characters? They look so damn ugly. Seriously, this makes Mars Needs Moms look like Mitchell's versus the Machines. It's like Voldemort tried to clone himself with a Play-Doh nose. What is that face in my guy? Dude's got the Habsburg jaw! So Tarzan's father named John came to Africa in order to help his friend James try to locate the meteor that crashed 66 million years ago. John tells him it's hopeless and urges him to come home.
Listen, I'm Tarzan. When I come back, I'm gonna be king of the jungle.
Yeah, great parenting, guys. No way those monkeys couldn't absolutely tear apart your child. Monkeys are not nice animals, fun fact. Or rather not so fun fact, they will fuck you up. I also love how John just basically dragged his entire family into the jungle just so he could tell his friend to go home. He could have done that by himself. Hell, he could have done that with a phone call or a video call, you know, since we're in the modern day. So John takes his family to leave with King Philip I over there. Seriously, what is that chin? But while all that's going on, we cut to a family of gorillas who I guess is supposed to be Kerjak and Kala. Not 100% sure these are gorillas though. They look more like an animal that's been on the side of the road far longer than it should have. Kerjak is challenged by another gorilla known as Two-Blot, who isn't voiced by Keith David in this movie, so he's automatically worse.
Boo!
Wow. I really should apologize to the 2016 film because this is some terrible editing. How am I supposed to tell which is which? Go right, monkey. No, go left, monkey?
Seriously, I'm surprised we didn't hear banjos on the way in because everybody's inbred and looks the fucking same.
So Two-Blot kills Kerjak by slamming his head with a rock. At least I think so. They cut away way too quickly. But I guess I'm supposed to feel bad about it, but we literally just met him, so who fucking cares? I don't. So the Greystoke, yep, that's their name, Greystoke, gets lost in the fog when they suddenly discover Holy Mount Everest's asshole! How did this go undiscovered this whole time? If we were in 1888 like the original story was, then sure, I could buy it. But here in the modern day, with things like satellites and drones and shit that could pick that up in no time, I could find this shit with Google Maps if I was so inclined. The only thing that's keeping me from finding it is giving a shit. But whatever, this mountain's just now been discovered, so John, being the genius that he is, can't tell just by looking at it that this isn't your usual mountain. So he, of course, decides to go inside of it alone. Can't just write the coordinates down and come back later with a whole team of experts. No, let's just do this right now with your wife and your 4-year-old child on standby. Tarzan, your father's an idiot.
And as John stepped into this most inhospitable world cloaked in fog.
Oh, and that's right, I forgot to mention the stupid-ass narrator that's almost as bad as the one from Rockadoodle. Why are you talking? Why are you literally just explaining what's obviously happening on the screen? Well, to be fair, with animation like this, I expect the audience to be closing their eyes for the sake of preserving their sanity. So, for once, I actually understand the narrator this time. He's an unsung hero trying to protect us from the horrors that awaits us. Of course, we could always turn the movie off. That'd be more convenient.
The guardian monkeys protecting the meteor for eons became more and more agitated.
Guardian monkeys? What? So John takes a piece of the mountain and I guess it gets mad? That means that the mountain itself is alive? Or wait, it's not a mountain, it's an asteroid. So is it an asteroid or is it a mountain? Or is it those guardian monkeys that are mad? Are they the ones doing this? Wait, why is a volcano erupting? Can this asteroid mountain make a volcano erupt? Or is it the guardian monkeys making the volcano erupt? We're only 10 minutes into the movie and it's already so confusing. And the narrator doesn't even begin to help. What do you think the direction was for this scene? Okay, you're trying to avoid fireballs, so just run around like you're playing The Floor is Lava really badly. Yeah, that's great. I mean, we could try to make it look convincing, but why would we do that?
You never should have ripped that thing out of the rock.
What are you talking about? How would you even know that's what caused everything to go wrong? Why would anyone assume that? Also, while that's happening, Kala's kid just kind of walks off a cliff. And it's honestly the best scene in the movie, not gonna lie. This stupid-ass monkey just walked off the edge of the cliff. What a dumbass!
You write Taylor Swift lyrics and birthday cards.
And before anyone comments saying that gorillas aren't monkeys, allow me this witty retort. I don't care.
Hello, monkeys!
So, like, they're all fucking dead, right? The mom's dead, the dad's dead, the Habsburg line ends here, and Tarzan, being a very little kid, is definitely bullshit! No! That's bullshit! We just saw the helicopter crash into the side of a mountain in a fiery blaze. How on earth did he survive any of that? And with only a small scratch on his cheek? Come on! I remember it was a little weird how Sabor didn't find Tarzan after killing his parents. Like, there's no way he didn't make any noise during any of that. But this is beyond stupid. Plot armor is thicker than Talia's ass. So Kala brings Tarzan back to her nest, and he pretty much falls right out of it. Okay, he's gotta die here, right? Oh no, of course he didn't die. I mean, it's not like he fell from 10 stories or anything.
Kala had decided to defend her young by any means, but from the start, Tarzan had become a thorn in the side of Two Blood, the new evil leader of the gorilla family.
Evil? I mean, in the Disney version, sure, but here? It's implied that they're just animals in this version, so I wouldn't say he's evil. He's clearly just an animal that's very territorial, especially when something that's clearly not a gorilla shows up out of nowhere.
And you're not. Here I come. Not again.
Aw, not again! I hate it when my friends hide while playing hide and seek! Just fucking kill me now! So Tarzan grows up with the apes like in the original story and forgets all about his terrible parents in life. Probably for the best, since they were pretty bad parents. Speaking of which, why wasn't there a search party sent out by his friend or John's company, Greystark Energies? He was the fucking CEO and no one cared that he and his family disappeared? You'd figure they would have at least looked, right? Again, in 1888, how would you send a search party? You'd have no clue where they crashed. But in a modern day setting, you'd be able to find where they crashed almost the moment it happens. I get that Clayton's supposed to be an asshole who only cares about money, but first of all, there's no way he'd be the CEO after John. He's way too young in this movie. He'd at least be a teenager by the time of the crash, so there's no way. And secondly, wasn't John's friend not too far away? He couldn't try to start a search party or something? Or at the very least, look for him himself? Later in the movie, Clayton learns about the asteroid because of a beacon that Two-Blood messes with, so having no service out there isn't gonna cut it. So it turns out John's friend James comes to the jungle every summer to give out rides to tourists. How Tarzan went all these years without ever noticing humans before up to this point? Fuck it. Just fuck it. Spoiler warnings, by the way, you're going to hear a lot of that in this video. But this year, he's brought his daughter Jane to the jungle, and Tarzan is smitten at first sight. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, just look at her. I just love it when my animated women look like a melted Barbie doll. And apparently so does this guy.
I think I'm just gonna go this way.
I think that's a good idea. Creep.
He's gonna be in my tent later whether I like it or not. Ugh. Boys will be boys. So the next morning comes and the pervert ends up getting lost on the tour. And by ends up getting lost, I mean he literally just walks away. James is literally facing this guy as he just walks away from the group. Like, dude, stop him. What? Okay, forgetting the fangs you practically glued to that bird's mouth, what in the fuck is a cassowary doing here? Last time I checked, they didn't live in Africa! They live in New Guinea and Australia. Why, of all carnivores, did you go and choose an animal that, by all accounts, doesn't fucking live there? Cassowaries aren't even carnivores, they're omnivores. They don't actively hunt humans. And what's with the fangs? I don't know if you guys know this in Germany, but they don't have fangs. Cassowaries are already dangerous animals in their own right. Not that they seek them out, but cassowaries have been known to deal fatal blows with their legs. For fuck's sake, a cassowary killed Florida Man! That should tell you not to fuck with them! Oh no, that poor boy is being chased by a deadly animal. If only I had a weapon that could save him. If only, am I right? Also, side note, cassowaries can run way faster than that. This fat fuck should have died at least 5 minutes ago. I also just noticed they have raptor sickles on their feet. Cassowaries don't have those either! What are they teaching you guys in Germany? I know that birds are related to dinosaurs and all, but come on, this is stupid.
That's right. Tarzan hijacked a Boeing B-52 Stratofortress and carpet-bombed the cassowaries in order to save Jane. But ended up killing her in the process. At this point, would you even be surprised? I know I wouldn't be.
Who's there? That's not good.
Yeah, sorry Tarzan, that doesn't work. Jane's fucking dead. So Tarzan saves her from the snake bite and Jane is able to return to her father. Jane also leaves her bloody bandage as a souvenir for him. Oh, how romantic? If Tarzan picked it up himself, it'd be weird, but he's an ape man, you get it. But Jane? I guess she's just into people being really creepy about her. I don't want to kink shame, but ugh. So Tarzan, finally meeting another human, begins to question who he is. He discovers the crash site where his parents died, which was not in a tree earlier in the movie. So how it got in a tree? Fuck it! Just fuck it! Realizing he's not a gorilla, he creates a treehouse for himself and begins to live away from the apes. But Two-Plot messes with an emergency beacon and the signal is able to reach Greystoke Energies and its new CEO, Clayton. Okay, that's literally just a Barbie doll. Y'all aren't even trying to hide it now. Oh my god, what are these textures? This movie came out in 2013, the same year as movies like Monsters University, Frozen. Hell, I'd take Despicable Me 2 over this shit. This looks like early Pixar shorts, and I'm talking like Tin Toy levels of early. This movie was made primarily in motion capture, which really raises the question, why is this movie animated? Nothing about this movie demands that it be animated. If anything, it probably would have been way cheaper to have the movie be in live action. As it is, the humans and their movements never look convincing. It's awkward at best and terrifying at worst. It is just beyond uncanny. The landscapes are boring, the cinematography is dull, the editing is abysmal, especially during fight scenes. This movie feels like it should have come out way back in the late 90s, where 3D animation was starting to get its footing. But even then, it still would have been blown away by movies like Ants and Toy Story, which just had far superior character design, cinematography, lighting, editing, story, and why am I even continuing? A fucking ant could tell you this shit! This movie should have just been live action, because sure, it wouldn't have helped with the weird story and editing and characters, but at least we would have been spared an existence where we all know that these monstrosities were made by human hands.
Run for your lives, everyone! It's the appetizer!
70 million years ago, this planet was struck by an extraterrestrial object. But this was not just any meteor.
So much is wrong with that statement. First of all, it was 66 million years ago, not 70. Secondly, it didn't crash in Africa. It crashed in the fucking Gulf of Mexico! The crater is still there, visible to everyone! This movie was made in 2013, and yet these idiots couldn't be bothered to do a simple Google search? What is wrong with this fucking movie? Germany, seriously, what are they teaching you over there?
This was a new energy source unlike anything we had ever seen.
How do you know that if the asteroid has gone completely undiscovered until today? The only people who discovered it are fucking dead! Save for Tarzan, but he's long gone by this point. How would you know any of this stuff? Oh, that's right. How could I forget? Fuck it! So Clayton heads to Africa from New York in order to begin the search for the asteroid. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I forgot to mention that Tarzan and his family this time are actually from New York, not Britain. I guess it was just really hard trying to find English actors with British accents near Germany! So after settling in, Tarzan makes his way into Jane's tent. Man, with Germany's strict censorship laws, I'm surprised this actually made it in the final cut. And he'll never go to question that because fuck it. Get it? It's Ozzy! Crazy Train! This movie feels like it was directed by Ozzy Osbourne.
What do you want? The same thing that John Greystoke wanted.
But perhaps there are some things that are not meant to be discovered.
That's a very pretty daughter you've got there, Porter. We wouldn't want anything to happen to her, now would we?
Why? Why are you threatening him? What logical sense does it make to be the bad guy in this situation? You're about to make the greatest discovery of all mankind. You said it yourself that this thing will change everything. So why be a dick about it? On second thought, why is James being so stingy about this? He gets the funding for his research, all while at the same time having his name be attached to the greatest discovery of all mankind. Dude, you're gonna be a fucking billionaire. Just agree to help him. Oh, but John died trying to find the asteroid. No, you wanted to find it. He was going home. Sure, John did just conveniently stumble upon it, but James doesn't know that. So why is he talking like John was the one who wouldn't give up when it was clearly him? Does this movie honestly think we have the memory of a dead goldfish? What the fuck, movie? What the fuck, Germany? With all that being said, though, Clayton has no reason to be evil in this movie. You already know that the asteroid is here, so it's only a matter of time before you find it. You're already gonna make a shit ton of money off of this venture, so what's even the point of lying? In the Disney movie, it made sense because he's a poacher, he's committing a crime. But here, he's a businessman. He literally has everything to lose by threatening people, and frankly, it's just so cliche. Oh, he's a greedy businessman who's only interested in the money. He doesn't care about people or the environment. He'll do whatever it takes to get that cash. It's boring. It's stupid. Look, the Disney Clayton didn't have a lot of depth to him either, but at least he acted logically. All of his actions leading up to the big twist in the end made sense. I won't pretend it's A+ writing, it's still pretty predictable, and as villains go, he's serviceable at best. He works well enough for what the movie needed. But this Clayton is just plain stupid, and he just gets more and more stupid as the movie carries on, and he doesn't even have a cool death scene to make up for it. Speaking of people who should be dying, Jane finds out about what Clayton is really after and throws a huge temper tantrum over it. You lied to me, Dad. You've been lying to me for years. You don't actually care about the environment. Yeah, Jane's kind of a whiny bitch in this movie. You're still getting the money for your conservation group, so who cares if he lied? Hell, why did you lie, Clayton? Why are you going out of your way to make things far more difficult than it has to be?
I hope you're happy.
Relax. We all have to grow up sometime.
Wow! You're an idiot!
Listen, Jane, I want to go to Africa to find this asteroid that could change humanity forever, and I want you and your dad to lead me there. If you do this, I promise I'll give you all the money you need for your conservation group. We got a deal? Gee, Clayton, as a logical adult with common sense, I'd be an absolute dumbass to pass that up, and I would have to be a shitty one-dimensional asshole to try and threaten you in any way. That would serve me zero benefit whatsoever. What? I mean, glad to be working with you. Yeah, but that would require our characters to have common fucking sense now, wouldn't it? This is my new most hated cliche. The corporate bad guy who's only evil because the movie needs a villain regardless of whether it makes sense or not. I mean, at least with the Son of Bigfoot movies, they tried to give the villains over-the-top personalities to help make them stand out more. It didn't help much, but I at least remember the cowboy one that wanted to blow up oil to get oil. But this guy is such a bore. Make him do a funny dance. Make me want to keep watching the movie.
Sing us a song or something. Do a trick. You're fucking useless. What's your laundry folding channel, hon?
I bet you know exactly how many days it is until Christmas, don't you, bud?
Wait! What? Go fuck yourself, you silly fucking butt crusty.
So Jane just walks off a cliff. Like, seriously, why is that such a running trend in this movie where characters just walk off cliffs? Tarzan tries to grab her, but the rapids take her away to be eaten by a crocodile. Oh, come on. You stab a crocodile in the water and there's no blood? Not even a little? And before anyone talks shit about this being a kid's movie, first of all, you expose your children to this? You might as well grab them by the shorts and chuck them into a lit chimney. And secondly, the Disney movie, or the G-rated one, starts off with having a baby gorilla getting murked on screen, and then, not even 2 minutes later, we see corpses. 2 bloody corpses in the corner of that treehouse in the first 5 minutes of the film. Meanwhile, this PG-rated one is such a pussy. It always cuts away from the payout before anything just remotely graphic happens. I just think it's funny how this kids movie wants to compete against this kids movie, but this kids movie, which is more a kids movie than this kids movie, has way bigger balls than this kids movie. Fuck you! So after Jane wakes up, we then get this awkward as hell montage of them falling in love with fucking Coldplay in the background. Yeah, because that really fits this movie that hasn't had any pop music up until now. Because when I think of Tarzan, I think fucking Coldplay. This shit makes Phil Collins sound like Gwar in comparison. I like Gwar, what about it? Oh, how romantic, he kept my bloody bandages. How sweet. Not the king shame, but Jane's a bit of a freak. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Tarzan has a spirit animal? Because apparently he does. It only appears like 4 times in the movie. I wouldn't have even brought it up if it weren't for this.
Do you have a name?
Rafiki.
Yeah. You knew what this movie was doing with that. But a helicopter flies over looking for Jane, and Clayton notices Tarzan.
Greystoke? No.
Impossible is right. But a movie has to happen, so of course he survived. I mean, how else would you have a British kid become an orphan in an African jungle where he's adopted by gorillas? Oh, wait a minute! Hey, does anyone else think it's weird how Tarzan is just able to walk on 2 legs just fine? He's not even struggling either. Look at him. He's jogging like he's on his morning run. Wasn't that one of the most compelling things about Tarzan? How he had to go back and forth with being both man and ape? It was the struggle of him trying to find where he belonged, and when people like Jane appeared, it turned his whole world upside down. Suddenly, he began to question what was important to him, his family who raised him, or his own kind. It's a really compelling struggle that's unique to Tarzan, and I think it's the reason why the character has lasted for so long, why we continue to see adaptations of Tarzan to this day. But in this movie, it's barely ever touched upon. We barely see Tarzan interact with his ape family outside of a brief hide-and-seek game and a little montage in the beginning. But for most of the movie, he's usually by himself, leaving the gorillas every chance he gets. Because of this, I don't give a shit when later in the movie, Tarzan defeats Tublat in the fight and becomes the new leader. Why should I care about the gorillas when Tarzan clearly doesn't? Compare this to the Disney movie where we see Tarzan doing everything he can just to be accepted by them, even almost dying at one point. This brings up another issue I have. This movie has some of the worst pacing I've ever seen in a movie. Did you know it takes this movie 15 minutes just to kill Tarzan's parents? Why does it take so long? Compare this to the Disney movie where it's under 2. Then it just skims over Tarzan being with the gorillas just so we can get back to the human stuff again, where we spend 10 more minutes on that. This movie cares way too much about the human stuff without any focus on the ape stuff. And the human stuff is just stupid to begin with. Clayton's a dumbass because he's being evil for no reason. Tarzan's parents were idiots because they deliberately endangered their child multiple times in their short existence. Jane's an idiot because, well, you'll see later. And Jane's father's an idiot because he's literally watching as Clayton tries to shoot Jane and does nothing to stop him. Every human character in this movie is an idiot except for the literal ape man. At least it makes sense why he wouldn't understand human customs, but everyone else is just so fucking stupid because the movie has to happen, and it can't fucking happen if the humans acted logically like real humans. Well, what do you expect from these humans who don't even look like humans? They look like Voldemort's penis if you drew faces on it, god damn it! Oh! In case you couldn't tell, this movie sucks. Hard. So Jane and Tarzan escape Clayton and enter a mountain, and oh yeah, by the way, there's fucking aliens in this movie. There's fucking aliens in a Tarzan movie?! What the fuck?! I know there's like 24 books, but I tried looking, and I couldn't find anything involving aliens in Tarzan. This raises so many questions as to just what on earth that asteroid even is. Like, clearly over the course of millions of years, the asteroid has changed the ecosystem. This will be important later, but yeah, there's just so many questions involving the asteroid and everything that's going on with it, and this movie will never even bother to answer them. The red aura? Never explained. The guardian monkeys? Never explained. Is the asteroid alive? Never explained. Is it a god? Never answered. When it comes to this extraterrestrial mountain that can do whatever the fuck the plot wants it to, this movie just did what it does best. Say fuck it! Fuck it! So they enter the asteroid where I guess they're just exploring it now. I've kind of stopped caring at this point. I'm pretty much emotionally dead at this point.
Of course! You're the boy! You're Greystoke's son!
No shit, Jane! Don't tell me you never once thought about who Tarzan is. Clayton was able to piece it together instantly, the moment he saw Tarzan for the first time, and that was through a scope. Come on, Jane. Blow the dust off those gears, woman. Get them turning again. So Tarzan and Jane actually head back to the gorillas where Tublat challenges Tarzan to a fight. Tarzan wins despite the fact that he doesn't use his knife in the fight, and also Tublat is a fully grown gorilla and would absolutely murder Tarzan without any effort. Even the 2016 Tarzan did bullshit about that. And yet this movie also has the terrible editing and even some sloppy slow-mo. This movie cost $25 million. And yet I get better slow-mo from a $150 camera. Also, this is animated. No excuse! So Jane decides to go back to the camp to see her father again, only to find that Clayton has brought in a whole army to find that asteroid. All of that money for soldiers and yet no satellites or drones. Can't make this too easy now, can we? So Tarzan and Jane are captured, but Kala, who just followed them for some reason this time, tries to save them and gets shot. Oh no! They had a whopping 3 scenes together. Disney's Tarzan eats your heart out. So despite knowing who he is and realizing that he could be a threat to his own power and also tried to kill him before, Clayton just has Tarzan locked up. Because, again, movies gotta happen.
As far as everybody else is concerned, they burned up on the island.
Who cares if it makes no fucking sense? We got your money, didn't we? Oh wait, this movie bombed? Ha!
The potential energy stored in this one tiny piece could power the entire East Coast for a month. Think what we could do with a mountain.
That is a great point, actually. Which makes this whole thing even stupider. I mean, think about it. This mountain has a weird energy source that could change humanity forever. On its own, this discovery will make them all billionaires. This shit will make Elon Musk look homeless in comparison to how much these guys are going to make from this. So my question to Jane and them is, why not just let them have the mountain? I talked about this already, but now that you've seen the asteroid and almost died from it, what possible excuse do you have to not let them take the mountain? Sure, it's been on Earth for 70 million years, but it still came from space. It's not a natural part of the ecosystem. In fact, it is actively corrupting the ecosystem and changing the wildlife in a way it's not naturally supposed to. Removing the asteroid would actually help the environment since you're removing a foreign substance. Not only are you getting all the money you need for your conservation thing, but you would also be aiding in cleaning up what is quite possibly the largest natural disaster in human history. And how do you respond to that?
Like hell I will.
Watch your profanity.
Idiot. Fucking idiot. Also, I love how she had to swear there to really make the point known. Gotta earn that PG rating somehow. I mean, sure, we've done everything in our power to be super safe for the kids watching this movie. Couldn't show anything even remotely scary or violent, but that swear word though? That one was for you, grown-ups. Push it to the limit, fuck you. So Clayton literally brings in like hundreds of men with helicopters and machine guns and shit, and Tarzan starts rallying his animal friends, and it's starting to look like it's gonna be all-out war. By the way, there's only 15 minutes of the movie left. How are you gonna wrap everything up in only 15 minutes? There's still so much shit to do. I guess they're finally starting to run out of their budget, so guess we're just gonna have to shut up and accept everything that's about to happen. Don't question anything. It's just a kids movie, you know? An ugly, stupid, confusing, annoying kids movie. The fact that anybody believed that this would replace the Disney version as Best Animated Tarzan are obviously off their fucking rockers. So Clayton's men start setting explosives around the mountain? Why? I thought you wanted to collect the asteroid, not destroy it. This is a foreign substance. You don't know if it's volatile or not. You could end up destroying the whole thing by doing this. I don't know how this movie did it. I don't know, but it actually managed to find a way to be even stupider than the cowboy guy who wanted to bomb oil to get oil. Clayton might just be one of the worst villains I've ever seen in any movie ever. This is just beyond salvaging. It's truly ridiculous. Sure, okay.
You go, and I'll stay here and cut the cables.
Detonation in 4 minutes.
Dad, hurry!
I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, dude, take your time. It's only bombs. But as Jane and Tarzan make it out of the mountain, the battle begins, I guess. And by battle, I mean wacky comedy ensues because don't forget, this is a kids movie. We can't actually have any real fighting in a kids movie, even though we just showed a gorilla getting shot earlier, but still. Oh, look at the funny dance he's making as the snakes come slithering at him. Oh, and that's just silly kids. Oh.
Don't monkey with me.
Ah, he said, don't monkey with me. Don't monkey with me? Who the fuck says that? Dude, just shoot him already. Yeah, you tell him, Tarzan. Own him. Owned. I'm just so done with this movie. Can we just wrap it up already, please? Wait a minute, so now the mountain is getting mad? Like, earlier it got mad all because Tarzan's dad took a pebble, but now after Clayton showed up with hundreds of men and planted bombs on it, only after Clayton's pretty much been defeated already, now does it get angry? Or is it those guardian monkeys or whatever? Who fucking knows? It's so stupid. So Clayton tries to run away, but Tarzan stops him by... Sure, just sure. And while you're at it, why don't you just make Tarzan a god? I mean, think about it. He's practically immortal in this movie. Nothing can kill him. Just make him the god of the jungle. Why not? I'm just kidding. Of course, Spike would never allow such a thing. Oh, and of course, we don't even get to see Clayton die. This is a kid's movie after all, even though we saw Tarzan's parents blow up. A little weird we got to see the main character's parents die, but not the main villain, don't you think? Oh, and as for the hundreds of men that Clayton brought with him, yeah, we never see them again. So they either left to never come back, or they just died. But we didn't see them die in this kid's movie, so it doesn't count. God, how sad is it that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie has more balls in it than Tarzan of all things? A story that literally starts with a baby being orphaned because, well, in the original story, it was actually Kerjack who killed Tarzan's parents. Fun fact, I know! By the way, it was me who killed your parents, not that leopard. What? So Jane decides to live with Tarzan in the jungle, forgetting all about society and her conservation stuff and her dad, and holy shit, you forgot your dad! You literally left your dad in that mountain to die! Yeah, I know he told you to leave, but you didn't even think to go back for him? What is wrong with you, Jane? That is so fucked! Oh, but don't worry, he's cool, and he even brings out a giant slab of the mountain, which, why would you do that? Tarzan's parents died from a pebble. Why would you grab a whole slab of it? Isn't the mountain gonna go crazy over this? Or those monkeys or whatever?
Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
No? The movie just ends like that? Nothing explained? Nothing at all explained? What? This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's easily up there with movies like Elf Bowling the Movie and the animated Titanic films. It is just beyond garbage. The animation is terrible. Everything looks creepy and unfinished. The story is confusing. It literally just throws whatever it wants at you with no thought put into it whatsoever. The characters are all just nonsensical morons. No one acts logically except for the fucking ape man wearing a fucking overgrown diaper. They only do what they do because the plot says fuck it. The tone is a joke. When the G-rated Disney movie has more balls than you, that's when you know you need to grow a pair.
Hey, you need to grow a sack!
Editing incomprehensible, annoying ass narrator, English dub is laughable. Man, it's been quite some time since I've seen a movie that has absolutely zero redeeming factors to it. Look, say what you want about some of the other bad movies I've reviewed, but there was always at least something there that was good, even if it was just a little thing. All Those Go to Heaven 2 at least had good songs and a decent villain. Rockadoodle at least had great animation. The Pauly Shore Pinocchio movie at least was entertainingly bad. And even Elf Bowling the movie I deemed the worst I had ever reviewed, at the very least, had Tom Kenny giving it his best like he always does. But this movie has nothing. There is nothing to enjoy here. It is an absolute waste of time that no one will gain anything from it. Even the soundtrack is forgettable, which sucks to say because the score of this movie is from David Newman. Yes, that David Newman, the same guy who composed The Brave Little Toaster, The Sandlot, Anastasia, and even the Green Eggs and Ham TV show. What a waste of an incredible talent. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think it's been done. I think after almost 5 years since I reviewed it, Elf Bowling the Movie is no longer the worst movie I've seen. Congratulations, Germany! You've done it! You've succeeded in making what is, in my opinion, the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Great job, Germans! Ugh. Now you're gonna have to make another kick-ass metal band to make up for this one. I have nothing left to say. This movie has left me absolutely drained. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go listen to Sabaton's Panzerkampf for a week straight, because what I need now more than anything is the sound of German suffering. My deepest sympathies to all innocent Germans out there, but don't blame me. Don't blame me.